to Adventure Time. A little icy out. So, I'm out on my Sassafras mountain hike right now. This will be a different video than this one. This one, I'm gonna cut in footage from when me and my wife were out hiking a week ago. Yeah, I think it was a week ago. A week ago today, actually. She's been wanting to get into hiking. It's good exercise. She's got some new shoes. So, something to do together. So, I put together a little Paris Mountain hike for us. Really close to our house. Not too rough of a trail. But I made some mistakes on that one. Ended up being a little harder than I was anticipating for her. So definitely made some mistakes. A couple tips on that one. Taking your spouse or anyone else that's just trying to get into the hobby. You know, it's a great exercise, great sport, I guess some people call it. That's what I like about it. Plan for an easy trail at first. I had done the hike in Paris Mountain that I took her on, and I cut out the hard parts of the trail because I had done the hard parts with the moderate parts. So I said, you know what, I'll cut out the hard parts of the trail, which shortens it by 2 miles. Not a lot of elevation gain. It ended up being still almost 6 miles. And, you know, we got to the halfway point, and she's asked me where the car is, like how much further the parking lot, and I really didn't have the stomach to tell her we're only halfway there. So I felt bad about that. I don't want her to get a bad taste in her mouth about it. She was actually going to come out with me today too. So kudos to her for staking it out, even though I made a mistake on that one. A couple tips though. Bring something good to eat. What'd you think of your snack lunch?
Good.
Delicious. You're a real man. You bring out the cheese, and the crackers, spread it on that bad boy. That's how you know your wife has a good time.
Pepperoni.
And pepperoni. That's right. That's man tip number 1. You know, plan a little stopping point halfway through. You know, we can have lunch. You know, make it a date kind of thing instead of just hiking and exercise. And I would say one of the other big ones that, sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm at almost 4 miles. I just did about 400 feet of elevation. So have multiple exit points on the trail. That's something I could have done that I didn't think about. So it's kind of hard with the loop trails there. Once you're kind of out on the loop, you're out there. You either got to circle back or finish the loop. Whereas I probably could have planned for one of the other trails that followed along the road more. And so at any point if she wanted to get off, you know, she could have taken a break, gone up to the road, and then I could have just hiked, you know, back to the truck really fast and picked her up. It's not about you when you're doing those types of hikes. It's about them. Oh man, I gotta navigate through all this again. But I'm gonna I'll cut in some footage of that hike. I didn't get a lot. She doesn't like being on camera too much, so but I'll cut in some footage. And I'd love to hear anyone else's advice for getting a spouse out there and keeping things easier, especially with just the route planning. Was I wanted to get by that lake. I'm hiking through this. I wanted to get out by that lake. I thought I saw an animal back there. Because I knew it was going to be a really cool lunch spot. And I think my desire to have that wow moment for her, getting up to the lake and having lunch and being all romantic, overrode my, yeah, but that's a longer hike thought. So I was so concerned with the lake part of it that I ignored how much further it was going to be to do that. Planning for your elevation gain is another tip. If you can go in a trail one way or the other, you start at the beginning or the end, whichever you want to call it. Do your elevation gain at the beginning of the trail, so that the back end of the trail is going downhill. That's another thing I did backwards. We started going at the top of Parrish Mountain, hiked down to where the lake is. We hiked down to where the lake is, which I mean, the second half of the hike, after we had already hiked almost 3 miles, was going back up. And that's when the tiredness kicks in. That's when the how much longer do we got to go kicks in, and now all of a sudden you're going uphill. And I did get to show her how to use trekking poles. It's an important thing. Learn how to use these things the right way, because they will extend your hikes by a long way. They take a lot of weight off your legs when you're going uphill, especially. It helps you distribute the weight onto your arms and upper body, so that you're, taking probably 25%, off of your legs, which is a lot when you're going miles and miles. That 25% less weight on your legs adds up real fast. So, encourage trekking poles, learning how to get in rhythm with them. It took her a little while to figure that out, but when she figured it out, it clicked, and in the back half she was like, oh yeah, these do make a big difference. Anyway, instead of talking, I'm going uphill now, not using my trekking pole and wearing myself out. So, here's my tips for bringing a spouse.
You want it, so
Yeah.
I did.
That's man tip number 2. Bring a handkerchief in case your wife needs it. You let her blow her junk all into that handkerchief, and then you let her keep it, because ain't nobody want that.